This conference will now be recorded.
I'm really a t-shirt and jeans kind of guy. But this is National Caregiver Day. This is the day of the year where we recognize you. And we really appreciate you taking the time and are thankful to the directors around the country that supported you joining us for lunch. And thank you for doing the job that you do, which is carrying that mission that Jean started into the homes of the clients that you care for. We're really excited to do this again. We did something like this last year, but we actually had done a breakfast, and it really didn't work well for folks outside of the Eastern time zone where we reside. But because of I guess the change and some popularity, we have a doubling of the number of folks that got to attend, which is really good because we had a lot of fun last year, and it was fun to meet everyone. In total, we have 20 caregivers from 10 different states. I think the caregiver that virtually traveled the farthest is, I think, the second name on that list, Nicole Dickstein, who is in the Denver, Colorado area. And it's probably just a bit farther than Lisa in Tulsa. But we have caregivers from Texas, North and South Carolina, Tennessee, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, and our home state of Pennsylvania. What adds to the excitement is Jean Griswold started this company at her kitchen table in 1982 when a parishioner of her husband's church had died. And she thought, if people had just a little bit of help, tragedies like that could be avoided. This year, 2022, marks the 40th anniversary and of taking care of people of need, and we're excited about that. But before we go on, there's another anniversary I want to recognize. Well, there are caregivers on this lunch that have had a few years experience, some that have 5, 10, 17. One of the persons on this call has probably had one of the most years experience with Griswold, 23 years. It works out of an office just west of here, about 3 hours drive in Duncansville, Pennsylvania. Here's the real cool part. Today, February 18th is her 23rd anniversary with Griswold Home Care. Cheryl, let's give a hand for Cheryl. Yeah, that's incredible. 1999, she started on this day, 23 years ago. And while Griswold Home Care began 40 years ago on a mission to care for those in need, about 20 years ago, the Griswold family also started a not-for-profit foundation originally to help those in need through either meals or actually providing maybe some short-term kind of free care to the family. But at the caregiver breakfast that we held last year, we announced that we were shifting the focus of the foundation, and the new focus was on you, making it directly in support of caregivers. So it's my pleasure to turn things over to Mary Ann Murray, who has not only been a big part of the Griswold story over the decades. She's here to share a little bit of her history and that of the company, but she's still leading our foundation, and she's got some exciting news there as well. So Mary Ann.
Thank you, Michael. I'm Mary Ann Murray. I've been affiliated with Griswold Home Care for about 23 years. I actually started in 1999 as Cheryl did, but a little bit later in the year. I've been proud to serve as chairperson of the Jean Griswold Foundation and the good work that they do supporting people. I worked for Jean Griswold for several years in the mainline Pennsylvania office. And then I acquired the Delaware territory about 20 years ago. And she was always concerned about clients and caregivers. She would talk about how wonderful the caregivers were and how much they contributed to this, her service. And she was really an angel to the caregivers and wanted the directors to treat them as well. You represent a wonderful part of the service that we give to our clients. Excuse me, I'm choking up here. you are a representative of those people who we depend on so much to help our clients stay independent. Jean Griswold was an amazing woman. She had MS, and so was confined to her wheelchair for many, many years. And despite that, she was an amazing entrepreneur, and she cared about people. And I think that's what represents our business and our organization so much, is caring. So the 40th anniversary, the mission of Jean Griswold Foundation is to be even more supportive of caregivers. And we're going to start a scholarship program for all caregivers, but particularly those who contribute so much to what we do.
All right. Well, now we want to actually just kind of get to know you a little bit. And I know we mentioned Cheryl. I don't know if, Cheryl can, introduce herself a little bit before we put other folks on the hot seat, so to speak. But 23 years today, that's spectacular. And I know Patty had mentioned you really treasure kind of end of life care, but I would love to hear your thoughts on what your 23 years have been like and what rewards you've received.
I've done the caregiving with Griswold for 23 years, but approximately 45 years total. And
Wow.
I've tried other professions. Nothing compares to helping older people. Nothing. It's so rewarding, and that the feeling that you have when you leave the house and you know you've done your best to make that person comfortable is nothing compares to that.
No, that's great. And I'll pick on Cindy, works with Stephanie, because in her notes that we got from Stephanie, this is the reason I brought her up, is she said she's also been with Griswold for over 20 years, but she didn't give an exact number. So I didn't know whether you were above or below 23.
Well, but actually, I'm not even positive exactly how many years, because I was with Special Care before I was with Griswold.
Right.
Special Care became Griswold.
Right.
So I can't actually tell you exactly how many years for sure. But I do know that I love doing what I do. It's a passion of mine. Like someone else was saying earlier, that there's nothing better than seeing a person nice and clean, clothes nicely put on them, and a big smile on their face. Me personally, I like to sing to people. I found out that singing to people and singing with people is really one way, especially for people with Alzheimer's. For me, I find I look to see exactly what it is that they like, and I go from there. And I found that if you find out what it is that they like, and you go ahead and help them with that, sooner or later, things start to get better for you. Like, for instance, I have one lady that I take care of right now. And when I first met her, they said she had 6 months to live. She was an Alzheimer's patient. But I found out that all she needed was love and somebody to care about her. And that's what I gave her. And she's now talking to me, singing with me. And there's nothing more rewarding than that.
All right, a show of hands. Who wants to hear Cindy sing?
This
No, that's
is
okay. I won't put you on that much of a hot spot. And I think, so Carla, right? Carla's,
Carla's from Delaware.
yeah, so.
Yes, that's me.
Yeah,
Can you tell us about your experience with Griswold?
Griswold, my experience has been wonderful. Not only building relationships with the family and their extended family, but you really have a strong relationship with the people that work in the office as well. Because if it wasn't for the people in the office and they help you feel real comfortable from the time you interview until the time you go to the families, I mean, you get a real sense of family. That's why I stay here, because it's family involved in the office and in the people's homes. And you get the inside jokes from the people that you take care of. And it's just, I just love working for Griswold.
Oh,
no, that's
great.
great. And how long have you been with Griswold?
8
'Cause I know-
years.
Yeah, 'cause-
I've been there 8 years, but I worked at a place called Stokely Center for 20 years, and that was for the developmentally delayed, as we call it now.
so one of the interesting stories too that was sent in by your director was for Nafisha in Wilmington, North Carolina, where you had a 58-hour shift. How did that happen? I think she's muted.
Yeah, Nafisha, I think you're muted.
I don't see her.
Who is it, me?
Yes, she is.
Yeah, right there. Can you unmute her?
Nafisha, you're muted on your end. Unfortunately, I am not able to unmute you.
Can
There
you hear
we
me
go.
now?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. You asked me how did that 58-hour shift come about?
Yeah.
It snowed that weekend here, and some of our coworkers couldn't make it to the shifts, so I just stayed around the clock.
Yeah, I don't imagine Wilmington, North Carolina has very efficient snow removal.
I mean, I volunteered to stay so nobody else wouldn't have to come out.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good. So how long have you been providing care?
It'll be 2 years this April.
Okay, so you're relatively
Young.
Yeah. So what drew you in? What made you choose it originally?
Actually, I'll tell you a little bit about my background before I came to Griswold. I worked with children for 20 years, and then my grandmother, got into a facility, and I wanted to be able to take care of her, and so she wouldn't have to be there. So she said, well, won't you get into doing home health care? So here I am.
Well, I actually was I visited your office in December actually. I probably didn't run into you, but I was commuting from PA to Florida and stopped in and saw Mike and Dorothy. So beautiful office, beautiful area of the country. It's very nice.
And thank you for your dedication and staying during that snowstorm. That's what we do, though. I think we just sense that urgency, and that's what makes us special.
Oh, that's nothing. I've done 127 hours in 1 week.
Oh, sorry, they shortchanged you.
But I love it though. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. I love it.
No, that's great.
Probably.
Well, who else has a great story to
I
share?
love doing it though. I wouldn't trade it. There's nothing really left to do.
I will.
All right.
I'm Carol Corbett from Lehigh Valley office in Pennsylvania. I started with Griswold 3 years ago. My father got sick, and he actually got me into wanting to do home health care. But prior to that, I've taken care of my grandparents, my family, friends' families. I've always been, in the caregiving, field throughout my whole life. But then when I got to Griswold, like it's a totally different company. 'Cause I also work for another company, but Griswold is like having an extended family. The caregivers, the staff in the office, the clients, it's like having a complete extended family. And they're so compassionate. Griswold is such a compassionate company that like you won't find the passion that Griswold has in any other company. I haven't. I don't know if anybody else has, but I definitely have. Right now, I have a client that's 92 years old on Wednesday.
That's great.
And she's my thing with being a caregiver is like I like to see them be alive again. Like it's just it warms my heart, melts my heart to know that I brought life back into them.
Me too.
No, thank you.
Who said me too?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I know what you're saying. I understand.
Well, I think Gary's got a palm tree in her background there, so it actually looks familiar because I decorated my office with one of those over the holidays. And you're at one of our newest offices in Texas.
Mhm. Welcome. Yeah. Hi, my name is Jean Sagna, and I'm from the Griswold Home Care Aspen Hill and Montgomery North in Maryland. I've been with Griswold for 7 years, going to 8 years now. But every single day have been like a experience, like a relationship built with the client, with the office. I've been also even working in the office from time to time. And the best ones that I had a client who was, when I started with her, she was 98. Now she just turned 103.
My Lord.
Wow.
Yeah, she has all her mind, but unfortunately she has been moved to Virginia, and I could not go with her, but we still keep in touch. I go visit her once a week, and she is so bright. She brightened my life. I'm a person that I give everything, but when I'm mad, I'm mad. So she was really my mentor for those 4 years, being like, what happened today? I said, nothing. She said, you're gonna tell me, if not, I'm not gonna shower, I'm not gonna eat, I'm not gonna do anything. So I have to sit down and tell her what's going on. We go through it. But definitely my experience with Griswold, the office, the caregivers have been so wonderful. And it's just like, I jump on Griswold. I went back to school because I moved from Atlanta to here a while back ago, and my license expired. I needed to go back to school for me because it was too long expire. So I met a lady who know the boss of Griswold here, and she just make a phone call. She told me that whenever you finish, the day you graduate, call me back. I had my same day I called her. Then 2 days later, she gave me a job. She gave me a job. Ever since, I'm with Griswold, and it's just a pleasure. I'm telling you, a big pleasure seeing people in the office, the client, and yes, definitely. That's a great, great experience that I'll recommend a lot of my friends, people who I know. Yeah, definitely. Griswold has been like a big part of my life and of my family also.
Well, MERS is great. So that's makes a lot of.
Yes, it makes a lot of difference when you have a boss that you can reach out anytime you need to. She's not the kind of person that she's going to say, leave a message with the secretary or the coordinator. No, she will talk to you directly. She will follow with you. She'll come and visit you on site, and on your birthday or on any other occasion, she'll call you or she'll send a message. She's really caring. She's really caring.
Althea, did you want to say something?
Yes, I wanted to say something. I'm Malkia from Ellicott City, Maryland. And what stands out mostly for me to be a caregiver is it takes a certain type of person to do that. Everyone can be a caregiver when it comes to the client. And it makes me feel good. It warms my heart because I was trained as a mental health worker, but I found that as a caregiver, it warms my heart because clients request me sometimes because I give the same type of care that I would give to my family. And they are considered my families once you've worked with them for a while. So I commend all you ladies and gentlemen for the work that you do. And I'll just say, keep up the good work because it's needed.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, can you all hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
I'm Ernestine from Prince George's for Griswold. I've been in the field for like since 2001 working with disability people. I worked at a facility for like 5 to 6 years. I left there and my best girlfriend called me because her mom requested for me to come take care of her. I used to work for Consumer Direct. And 22 years ago, I was taking care of her and I did such a good job with her. She raised me just about because we was all neighbors, and I had to go out for surgery. And I told her I was going out to have surgery, and she told me if I leave her, she was going to go. And I was like, "What you mean by that?" And I called her daughter, and I said, "Your mom just told me if I leave her, she's going to go." And the very next day, she did. So that just like it touched my heart knowing that I took good care of her and she didn't want nobody else to take care of her. So she was diagnosed with cancer. And I just, after I left her, I just like, I don't want to do it anymore. Then my heart was displaced to keep on going. So I laid out of work for a while after her. And I just looked up an ad for Griswold. And like someone said, I got hired the very next day from my background. But I love working for Griswold because they communicate with you. They, let you know when this and that. And, my clients, like you said, they fight over me. I have 3 clients, and everyone that been in the hospital came back home, requested for me to come back when they came back home. So, like I said, you have to have patience with these clients and taking good care of them. Hygiene is a very thing to keep up on them and fixing their food and stuff. And I'm very pleased of how my clients treat me. It's just overwhelmed to help someone who need help. So I really appreciate Griswold for hiring me.
No, that's great. No, thank you. Oh, Rose?
Say something. My name is Rose. I've been with Griswold since 2015. I'm from Africa, Ghana. And when I first came here, 2014, I was looking for a job. And I met a friend who was also a home health. And I was looking for agency to work with. I was working with Caregiver. A friend connected me to New Jersey. So I started working with them, me, Diana, and Enigo. I'm happy working with them because the communication is very good. When you need assistance, they always come to you. Whatever you need, they will come. And the communication, everything is fantastic. I'm happy working with Gracewood. That's about 7 years now. And I'm currently with a client who was bedbound, cannot walk, cannot get up, and she was in the hospital. So when they brought her, I started taking her from bed, and she eat, and now she got stroke. Even when they got from her from the hospital, and they said one person cannot take care of her, I told them, and I'm the only one who is without no Hoyer lift, nothing, and I'm taking care of her almost a year now. And she is happy, the families are happy. My happiness is to make somebody happy, and this is what I love to do.
No, great. Nicole, we haven't heard from Nicole.
Hello, I'm Nicole. I have been with Griswold for 2 years in April. About 3 years ago, somehow my resume ended up on cnajobs.com. I kind of always joke that it was an accident because I went to school for business marketing. So I don't know where that even got on there, but 3 years ago, I was hired by a home care company. And I don't think it was actually an accident. My mom, all my aunts, everyone was a nurse. My mom actually used to take me with her to her home care clients when she was in nursing school.
Wow.
And so I think it was just somewhere meant to be. I, during the pandemic, was with 5 different companies at the same time. But Griswold's really the only one that I felt really appreciated for my time, my care. Speaking of those like 58-hour shifts, I would work 60-hour shifts at a schizophrenic mental health assisted living where I would bring my dogs. I would stay for entire weekends, sleep on the couch. But I never felt appreciated. And my office here, Jim, Shelby, everyone in the office has definitely, they voice their appreciation. They make it very well known. They're always very willing to work with you on your schedule, your quality of life for both our caregivers and our clients. So that's made like a huge difference from what I can see in all the places that I've worked for, being in home care or not. I've never felt more appreciated. Last year was pretty hard for me. I lost my mom, and I couldn't be more grateful that I had been with Griswold at the time. And all my clients like feel like family. Like as you get older, you kind of make your own family. I really only took like 3 days off because I wanted to be back with my clients because I knew that they counted on me to be there. And so I think like they all helped me with my healing. And so I also get requested a lot, but I think it's because I connect with them on more than just like doing their care plan. Helping out their family is like a huge part of it, especially going through loss and end of life. So we've really built really big relationships with the family, the wives, the husbands of the people that are getting care. That's a huge part for me, as well as if they don't have any family, because you kind of be that person they look forward to seeing every day or every other day. Even if it's a small, I have a lady whose dog won't eat, and she says it makes her day that I'm the only person that can get her dog to eat. So whether you think it's like on the care plan or part of their care or just something really small, it makes such a difference in their day. So it's been great for, me and my life, and I believe that I make a difference in their days as well.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I visited your office last August as well, and I hope you weren't impacted by the fires.
I did have to evacuate, but my home is okay. I actually grew up in Louisville, born and raised. My childhood home is still okay, but a lot of those houses that were lost are all my friends' parents and grandparents' homes with memories that, stuff they cannot get back. We had a few caregivers that were affected and displaced. Not as many clients, which I was very grateful for because I know we have clients in that area, but nobody was hurt that we know in our office. Everyone's worked really well together. We have a lot of caregivers that go above and beyond in this office to help out. And if somebody is out, we do everything we can to kind of help fill in, to help the caregiver as well as like those clients so they're not left without while they're gone.
That's good. No, thank you.
Anyone else want to share? We're close to wrapping up. Is that true?
No, we got time.
Okay.
Michelle would like to say something. Can you guys hear us?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we're from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I think Michelle wants to say something.
I just wanted to say that I've been in the field for a little over 17 years. I've been with Griswold 4 years next month. And just like how the other ladies have spoken about how they love their job, how they love how their clients want only them. I've been there, a lot of the times. And like the other lady has said, worked many hours. I've worked 120 hours plus, in a week, before. But with Griswold, I had a couple of gentlemen that I took care of for 2.5 years, all the way until they, went home to heaven. They only wanted me, didn't want nobody else. And that makes you feel good. You get close to the, they become your family. And as my family knows, I have family outside of here, but my job is my second family. I mean, my family will tell you, my children especially will tell you, that's mom's second family is her job. I love what I do. There's been a couple of times, you get overwhelmed and just kind of want to step away from the work, but your heart won't let you. This is what I'm made for. I love it. Griswold has been great. Just like another lady has said before, it's nice to know that you can go talk to your boss. She's going to listen to you, gives good advice, listens to what you got to say. And I have to say her name, and that's Laura. She's been great. Anytime you have issues or just need to talk, she's always there for you. So I love Griswold. I love working for them and I want to continue many years from now.
This is my boss, Mirza. She's always around. She wanted to make sure that everything is okay, so she's right here.
Thanks, Mirza.
Well, it sounds like you have a boss the way we have a boss.
Yeah.
Laura Hufford is she is exceptional. And I was trying to think of another word that would surpass exceptional, but I think I'll just lean on that word. And just 3 quick points. I've had really good jobs, and I've held my jobs for many, many years, but I'm going to try and say this without getting choked up. What is wrong with me today? When I came here, I was in the middle of a horrifying divorce, and I needed this job more than the people needed me because it kept my heart soft. And it kept me, I had a daycare for 10 years previous, and it kept me at a place where I needed to be present for them, right? Because that's what we are more than anything. We're not only physically present, we are mentally and emotionally present. So you have this trifecta. You have great management like Laura Hufford and Heidi, right? Who actually are very concerned with your welfare to a point where your car's not working. They offer to help with your car and come pick you up. I mean, things like that, that empowers you to go ahead and be on your A game for all of your clients. Then there is the company itself, Griswold, like no other. No wonder they're voted #1 by all caregivers. And of course, the most important part of that trifecta are our clients, the ones you fall in love with and tried not to fall in love with. Tried. I am
You're
going
not
to fall in
gonna.
love with this client no matter what, right? And you end up falling in love with them in such a way that you're happy, and it is a privilege to have ushered them straight into heaven. It's a privilege.
Yep, that's
And
true.
it's what makes this company its very best. So never get rid of people like Laura. We will pay her if Griswold does not pay her.
Do the same with me.
He's done a very good job of making sure that the directors are not only top notch in their accolades and just what they've accomplished to carry that directorship, but their heart goes with that, and it's equally as important. So when you look at a Laura Hufford and you look at the success of who we are and how we are in Tulsa, you need to lean all the way into Heidi and Laura, because it trickles all the way down. And that's all I have to say.
Yeah, well, look, it's a people business, and we talk about that all the time because, I take it seriously too, because I feel like it starts at the top, because then it attracts the best people at the next level, and it's all critical that everybody has that same spirit, and it's good to hear that that's happening in Tulsa. Anyone?
I want to say something.
Nadia?
It's nay.
Nay.
Yes, the D is silent.
Ah, the D is silent. At the
Yes,
end.
it's written in French.
Huh.
Yes, my name is Nedrame. I'm from Senegal, Northwest Africa.
I am too.
In fact, Sanya, you may from there too. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I've been in this country since 96. I came here for school. I graduated from Texas Southern University with a bachelor degree in criminal justice. And I started with my master. I have 18 hours, and I was going through a divorce, and I just stopped. I moved to Maryland with my auntie, and she's the one who introduced me to the healthcare thing. One day she took me to her job. Can you just watch this lady while I just go to the doctor and I come back? I say, okay. Before she come back, I clean up the whole house, bathe that lady, cut up the nail, and did some cornrows. She was a black lady. And when she come back, she was like, what you doing? You want to get my job? I said, that's what you're supposed to do, because the house is nasty. And she said, this is the thing you're supposed to do. And I told her, my grandpa used to tell me, John, you must know my great grandpa, Walt Jojongay. He was the first lawyer in our country. And one day I just started, he told me, you don't have the heart to just be a lawyer and stuff like that. You're going to be a caregiver. And I started crying. I was 6, 7 years old. I said, I'm not going to be a caregiver. I just want to be a lawyer like you. And we have a law firm back home. All my uncle, everybody is in and I told them, I'm just going to be a forensic scientist. And I come open up my DNA stuff. And 10 years, I'm still doing this, and I love it, and I won't trade it for nothing in this world. And all my clients I have them for 9 years or 10, and I won't trade it for nothing. I love it. I love it. And like my grandpa say, I'm a softie. I don't think I can do anything else but take care of someone. Yes. Obviously.
Well, thank you, Nani.
Mm-hmm.
How about Southeast Houston? We haven't heard from Rachel.
Excuse me?
I didn't bring my cowboy hat.
I can hear you, Rachel.
We can't hear.
We can't hear you.
Yeah.
Frozen too.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah.
You guys froze on us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the funny thing is, just as that office is right like a mile or two from the NASA place. That they actually did do the whole NASA thing in Houston.
Pat hasn't spoken.
Yeah,
Would
Pat
you
from
like to-
Nashville. We're going to come see you in October. We're holding our franchise conference in Nashville this October.
You all are
Are you frozen? Pat, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, we're having some problems.
I'm going to pick you up a little something, so don't leave. I know you said you're not playing. Come on. No.
Delori,
I want to say something.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you guys hear me? I was having technical
Yeah.
difficulties.
how are things in South Carolina?
Things are good. Things are good here. Outside sunny today, so enjoying the weather.
What brought you to caregiving?
Say it again.
What brought you into the caregiving field?
Oh, okay. So when I was 18 years old, my grandma got sick. I started taking care of her. When I started taking care of her, it just brought me so much joy to see how happy she was just to have a companionship. December 24th, 1998 is when she passed away. So after that, I was just like so fond of taking care of the elderly because sometimes people don't have like they have like busy lives. So to have a companionship, just to sit down and talk with them and listen to the old stories and stuff. So I enjoy taking care of the elderly.
All right, thank you.
We're back.
Looks like we got NASA back in Houston.
Yeah. We got super excited. The internet went out. We had a problem. We're back now. And it was Rachel had such a lovely speech, and I'm gonna need to ask you to do it again.
She was talking the whole time.
Off on where you left me.
Oh, I was saying that I have the best group of girls that I work with. I'm telling you right now, they no matter what happens or if you call them, they are right on it, and they kind of match us up with our clients that suits us best because sometimes they get kind of grumpy and don't like you. But I couldn't say anything more, and I love taking care of my clients. It is amazing, rewarding. Sometimes, no, I'm kidding.
Hey, so tell us about the High Five program.
Oh, yeah. So we have a program that I think Andrea and Brenda kind of came up with, and it's just a way of recognizing our caregivers. And basically, we have these little tokens that we give out, and we give them out if a caregiver were to call us, or when we call them for customer service calls, if they were to tell us a compliment about their caregiver, or if another caregiver calls to compliment a caregiver. We also give them out if a caregiver calls us reporting concern, because as you know, the families count on us for things like that as well to, let them know if maybe their loved one is acting a little differently. We've caught a few of our clients UTIs very early on, because of this and everything. So once the caregivers get 3 tokens, they can turn it in for gift card. And Rachel was actually our first caregiver to get all 3 of her tokens. So it's a really awesome program. I feel like it gets you know, people, it incentivizes people and our caregivers to you know, do good.
Now they're flowing in so fast, they catch me without gift cards, and I gotta go I gotta go run to the store real quick because I was just like, oh my gosh, go tokens, go. But it's so exciting to see them so excited about it, and when we call them, let them know like, hey, good job, you know, like our first client on the first shift that said that you were doing amazing, we're gonna send you a gold token, and they're just like, ah.
You know, congratulations, because your office made the top 100 in the Home Care Pulse Award.
Thank you. Yes, and Rachel's definitely one of those. It's kind of a bummer when you send like your top tier for a fill-in because they always want that caregiver back, and there still has a steady client, who actually pays her overtime to be there. And so anytime we do have to send her in, you know, maybe for like a last minute fill, we know she's a great first impression. They always want her back, and we do have to tell them, you know, that she is booked, but that's a good thing. You know, it's a good thing to have great care.
All different directions with all our clients, so I'm gonna have to start having them arm wrestle or something. Who gets Rachel? But it's not just Rachel. We have lots of caregivers that fall from that same tier. They're always get called back because it's not even a question now if we're gonna be able to, you know, blow them away with our services. It's more like, okay, well, if we send this person in, she's got to stay. They're not going to want to let her go.
The last couple minutes. So, Kat, did you want to say anything?
Yes. I was just trying to say sometimes it's not about just taking care of people. You have to know that person first. Like since I've been doing this, I took all the classes I can take, you know, to be a caregiver. And one day I was taking care of this man who was a doctor, a pathologist, who got dementia. But I couldn't understand. Every morning when we were trying to get out of the house, he couldn't get out of the house, and he was walking mobile and everything. But I couldn't understand. And when I asked why, he said he got dementia. I said, oh, okay. And one day I said, okay, I need to know about dementia. I went and $1,000 to take that class. That's when I found out the dark mat was keeping this man from stepping out. That's when I just burst out crying, because how their brain kind of shrink and everything they see dark is a hole to them. And I say, okay, that means you have to go back to school and learn and try to perfect, you know, make it perfect so you can help other people. If I didn't know that, I'd be like, why this man don't want to step out? Sometimes we used to spend like 30 minutes, 40 minutes before he can get out of the house. And I couldn't understand why until I took that class. Sometimes you need, because when you're dealing with people's life, you need to keep on learning. You need to keep on learning.
Great transition.
University. So university is a classroom, is a household. We learn from other, we learn as a team, we learn from the offices, we learn from the internet, we learn from the sickness of our patients. It's just like, if you want to be on the top notch, you just have to keep on learning, not take critique as critique, but as a path of learning something new. And
well, I think that's it.
The love of your job, the love of your, just the love of helping.
Yeah, well, oh, sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. I think we're going to transition over to Marianne about, it was great that we're talking about education, because that's really what we're talking about, shifting the focus of the foundation. And Marianne, you want to talk about that?
Absolutely. I'm so excited to be talking about the new mission of the Jean Griswold Foundation. And we'll be providing up to 5 $2,000 scholarships this year to honor caregivers, honor the profession, and to enhance their skills, just like Naya, D is silent, Naya was saying. It's so exciting to us that we're going to be able to do this and honor our caregivers. You can find out more information online at jeangriswoldfoundation.com. We are accepting inquiries at this point, and we'll be hoping to analyze the applications and award scholarships in 2022. So, and it's open to all caregivers, not just Griswold caregivers. So we're excited.
Yeah, I think it's I think you guys touched on it a little bit. I think it's really just continuing, continuous learning is something that helps everyone, and it's something that we're fully supportive, and we really are excited also. We just hired a new director for the foundation that starts a week from Monday. Our goal is to raise lots of money to pour back into education and things like that, so folks can continue to build their skills and help themselves. So, we're very excited about that. Yeah, and before, again, to show our appreciation for everyone making the time for lunch, we actually have a goodie bag that we're going to send to all of you. So we have some fun stuff. We have a little notebook and some pens. And the ladies on the team made this really pretty, because you know how guys wrap stuff. They go, here, wrap this yourself. We have a little caregiver journal, a Jean Griswold Foundation mask. Everybody needs a koozie. And then a really nice, like quarter zip Griswold Home Care shirt. That will be great. Yes, as she was modeling for the entire show. And is it? Oh yeah, and a little pouch and a couple other little small things. But we'll get these out to you guys in the coming week or so. And appreciate everyone making the time, and also willingness to share your stories. I think when we hear those types of stories, where we sit, we don't have that day-to-day interaction, but those stories really remind us to keep pushing and helping programs, developing trainings and things like that we do, to support the network throughout the whole country. So again, I appreciate hearing those stories.
Thank you for all that you do. We appreciate it.
Yeah, on National Caregiver Day, we really want to thank you.
Hey, can I say something real fast?
Yes, correct. I'm sorry, Pat.
I do thank Griswold Home Care for being my family for the last 2 years.
Oh, wow.
I want to give special Sizemore, the office manager at Griswold Home Care here in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and the owners, Beth Wallet. They're the best family I could ever ask for the last 20 years.
Great, thank you.
They're not there with you to see you through your job. They're with you. You lose a family. They will cry with you. They will call and check on you. They will worry about you getting to work, the weather, raining, to protect you and to care for you. They are truly my family.
Oh, thank you.
I want to say something.
Go for it.
Keisha.
I want to shout out my office too. Mike, Dorothy, Samantha, Theo, Scott. They've really been like my family too. Last year, January 15th, I got in a terrible accident that I wasn't supposed to walk away from. And they called me every day, checked on me, saw anything I needed. The clients were, worried about me. They were requesting me, even though I was home for 4 months, bedridden, couldn't walk, 2 broken legs, a broken finger, broken foot, bruised hematoma in my chest. I mean, it was bad. But you know, when I healed, I went back to work. Then fast forward to October 21st, I lost my daughter at birth. And you know, they were very supportive again. Then soon after we had our funeral, I came right back, you know, because I knew that that would help me with my healing, you know, just being around my client and, you know, instead of home grieving, you know, I found peace going back to work.
Yes.
Then November 15th, my grandmother passed away, who actually got me into, you know, working in, you know, being a caregiver. So, my office here has really been my family too as well.
Oh, that's great.
They really helped me through some tough times last year.
And I just want to say, I am so sorry. How do you say your name?
Nafisha.
I am so sorry. I won't say it again. I'll chop up your name. I'm just gonna, you know, I'm talking to you, Miss Johnson. How about that? I'm so sorry you've gone through so much. I have no words for how much you've been through. So none of us really have a complaint after listening to you. I mean, you are what they call a superwoman, and probably because you had such, you know, you have Griswold behind you. So I just want to say I'm sorry for what you've been through, because no natural woman walking around should have gone through all that you have. But boy, I tell you, if anybody is resilient, it is you. So I'm just so sorry.
Yes. Man.
Right. I think that's the show, everyone. We again appreciate everyone making the time. Thank you for everything you do on National Caregiver Day.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.